Hello, friends. Today I am thinking on acceptance, meditating on acceptance as all the new year, new you shit is going on. It's like, okay, I have fucked up in the past by putting so much emphasis on the end. Uh, I've done plenty of that in the past as far as like putting my eye on the goal and working with the end in mind. And those things are good. Don't get me wrong, because like one of the exercises I did in the last couple days was writing down what you would want people to say about you at your funeral. And it was like a good exercise to see what kind of a person do I want to be? How do I want to be remembered in the different areas of my life? That was valuable. Um, but I think that there's too much just like skipping over some of the basic stuff in building that vision, because you really need to accept where you're at. And in fact, it even goes further. So I'm in this program for practical magic. I know it's very woo woo. I've been following this woman. I highly recommend her emails. Her name is Carolyn Elliott. I'll put a link in the comments, but basically she takes it to a whole nother extreme, which I'm working on, which is accepting your shadow side and integrating it so that you can have a unified will for what you want. So what does that mean? It's like when something is happening that you don't want, there's a good chance that that's just consciously you don't want it. Some part of you wants it. We're all actually doing what we want to do. And it's hard to accept because consciously I would never approve of all these things that have happened to me. But unconsciously, obviously, I am manifesting these things in my life. So her process, she teaches something called existential kink, and it's a meditative process where you actually put attention on the things that you don't like and you start giving it approval. And it's been super powerful. It really changes your perspective. When some bad thing is happening or something you don't like is happening, and you look at it like, well, how was I benefiting from this? Was there even a part of me that was benefiting from this? But that can be a really big jump. And I think the baby step, like the first step, is acceptance. Like accepting what is going on in your life. Just not even approving of it, not even thinking that part of you wanted it, just accepting it. There are definitely things in my life. So basically, in November, I had two major transitions. One I've talked about a lot on here. One was my breast surgery that I had to have my implants removed. I'm still recovering from that. Another thing that happened in November that I have not been talking about is I broke up with my boyfriend of 5.5 years. And it's like both of those things, even though they're good changes for me, for my health, for my self-care, they're still hard. Change, even when it's good, is still hard. It can still be stressful. The first step, though, I'm always remembering, practicing, is acceptance. Somewhat surrender, like it is what it is. Got to accept what I cannot change. The serenity prayer. Even if you don't believe in God, this is a good way to evaluate, like, God, universe, higher power, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So it's like there were situations with my health, there were situations with my relationship that that I could not change. And so I had to accept that I couldn't change them. And then I had to look at what I could change. And I think that for me or anyone else in this kind of situation to be instantly looking at what kind of a relationship they want, what they want to manifest, I mean, it's okay to jump over it, but I feel like if we created this situation in our lives, then we should get the lesson. And we're not going to get the lesson unless we feel it, process through it. Now, this is not to say that you're going to wallow in it, because trust me, over both issues, I've had plenty of pity parties, and you know, I am really good at making really sensational pity parties, like really feeling sorry for myself, being sad, depressed, lonely, doom and gloom. Like, I can go there. I am really good at going there. And you know what? That's okay, because it's part of the process for me. And then what ends up happening, I run out of steam. Like, I integrate it. I accept it. It becomes part of me. I get bored, honestly. Like, you can only wallow in self-pity for so long until it kind of gets boring, right? And then you either have to go down deeper into depression or go up, you know, relieve some of the pressure and come up. So at that point, I am able to have desire to relieve the pressure and change my focus, change what I'm thinking about. And that's when thinking about what I want and how I want things to look and how I want life to look, that's when that's effective. Not when I'm in the middle of the sad emotions. So I'm encouraging you to practice acceptance, and not only just like accept the situation as it is, but accept your feelings around it and accept that it's going to be a process. And if you feel like you need to set a timer because you don't trust that you won't go into the depression hole, or you don't trust that you'll get, you know, you'll want to be lifted up, then, you know, some things I've done in the past, I've set a timer. And also, even with this existential kink meditation, you only do it for 15 minutes. And you can set a timer for 15 minutes. You could give yourself a day. You could give yourself time, and you could do it multiple times. Like, you could do it 15 minutes a day until the steam is gone, until the sensation is gone. And that way you're still acknowledging yourself, you're still working through it, but you're not like going into the depression hole. So practice acceptance, and first things first, when we're making these goals, you know, we have to lose, in order to create something else has to be destroyed. This is just a fact. So this is part of the dismantling. You may have echoes. This is what I'm feeling. I'm having echoes of my previous decisions that weren't in alignment, or that weren't good for me, or they were good for me at the time and now they're not anymore. So paying attention to that, accepting the emotions, and not beating myself up over it. These are my practices. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, and it's not like linear progress, always better, but it's valuable and helpful. So I wanted to share that today. All right, I hope that helps.